There we go. All right. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Welcome to this Wednesday morning's prayer meditation. This is Adashina Shingara, Lady Indigo of Indigo Rising, Healing Through Wholeness. And we're just blessed because we have another opportunity to sit around the fire and sit in community and just be blessed. Welcome. Welcome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the invitation so that everybody can really see the intent of what was on my mind. And we're going to go from there. I'm going to share my screen. As we open this space, we give thanks this morning to Spirit, to the Creator, to our ancestors, to our angels, and to our guides, to our own Ori, our own energy, our own heads, our own minds that have purposed ourselves to be here this morning. And I just give thanks for each and every one of you who have come in to contribute your energy and to create this space that's just, look at my videos, just going to be amazing. So I'm grateful. Here we go. This hit me in a real way. Decide what kind of life you really want and then say no to everything that isn't it. Right? That is next level creating, not being in that mindset that whatever comes your way, you have to accept it and try to work with it and try to morph yourself into a way that you can utilize it. Some things are just not a part of the building that you're trying to do. And then deciding or using your discernment to know what you can pass on and what you can incorporate. So let's get some feedback from the group on what this said to you when you saw it. Decide what kind of life you really want and then say no to everything that isn't that. Come on
in.
Hey.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, was you talking to me or?
Yeah, come on, Andrea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When I read this I think it was last night, I was thinking that since I moved here about 3 years ago, this has kind of been like my, I don't know if you say your motto, your theme, or I don't know, like that's what I've been kind of doing because my life has changed so drastically, and I've like just eliminated a lot of things that I was allowing to happen in my life that I didn't want. So I've kind of continued that, and I've learned how to like just say no because I'm the yes girl. I'm always yes to everything. I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. So, and I'm a nurturer by nature or whatever, and I always just okay, yes, come on, and it got me in places that weren't good for me.
Come on.
So I'm learning how to just, say no and not feel some kind of way about it. So this is what this statement kind of resonates to me in my life right now.
All right. Okay, I like it. I like it. Thank you for sharing that. I like the way you said that. Learn. So you're getting some power behind that no. You're getting some, resolve with that no. No is a sentence. I used to tell my kids it all the time. No is a sentence all by itself. It doesn't have to be followed with any other words. Just no. That's it. No explanation needed. That's great. Thank you for that. Who else wants to comment?
I,
Eh,
I wanted to comment because I love when I saw it this morning. I said, yes, yes. But I wanted to add to what Drill said because I'm so outspoken. I really never had a problem with saying no. I just have to work on my no that is not so abrupt. Because when I say it, I really mean it. But, people don't take kindly to know. But
Mhm,
I wanted to say this my old business partner that we shared space with, she come hook up with me because I always said I was going to leave the space. So now she have to chase me to get some time. And she's telling me all this stuff. And I look at her and she said, Angel, what's wrong? I said, well, I'm just wondering. And she said, what you wondering? I said, is your no broke? And she said, why do you say that? I said, because you don't use it.
mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, you're sharing some things with me, and all you had to do is say no.
Right,
hmm,
right.
And I said, and maybe we could work together. Maybe I can help you with your broke no. And you
Mhm.
can help me with my abrupt no. And so we laughed because I kind of wanted to smooth it over. You know what I mean? I didn't want to
Mhm.
be um like so forceful with her, like just sharing, you know?
Mhm. Right.
So even if you don't use it, sometimes people use it like me, and I have to work on it
Mhm.
because I already know it's gonna be a no.
Right.
But
But how
I'm
is it gonna
working on it
land
in
on the
my head, like,
yeah,
okay, don't say it too abruptly.
yeah,
Don't, you know what I mean?
I do. I do.
So,
Thank you for that.
okay.
Thank you, Miss Angel.
I
I
think
like
it,
that. That is true because I like the way you said that. People do not like to be told no. And it does, and for some, it doesn't matter how careful you are, how loving you are with it, but no triggers them in some kind of way. And they
Yeah,
go into this whole tailspin. So you really can't let that change your stance because, you have to put yourself first and no is
yeah,
no, right?
yes, yes.
Ashe, Ashe. Okay, I
Okay.
thought I
Good,
think I
good,
heard
good,
Debonique.
good, mo- oh,
yeah.
good
Debonique.
morning.
I had
Go,
said
go on.
I was
Oh,
going. Oh,
let's
sorry.
let's go with Debonique and then we're gonna go with Lena.
Um, I just think it's really what an unstoppable force you become when you make your mind up. Um,
Mhm.
you got to be united within yourself,
Mm,
and
Oh, yeah,
to be able to say no. That's to everything that goes against what you're building. That takes a level of power
mhm,
and a level of understanding that everybody is not going to understand. So sometimes you may say no as sweet as you want, Angel, but if it ain't the answer that they're looking for, they will contest. And so it may
mhm,
not necessarily be that your no is so abrupt. It's just that they're not used to encountering somebody who is so firm in the
mhm,
direction that you go. But once you make up your mind, we are powerful beings, and so
oh, yeah,
think that we are creators and we can create anything that we put our mind to. But if we are united within ourselves, going
mhm,
full throttle in a direction, it does become unstoppable. And the more that momentum that you build up in that direction, you can have anything if you say, let your yeses be yes and your nos be no. And
mhm.
yeah, but that's power right there.
Yes, it is. Thank you for that. I like that.
I
Just
Mhm.
say,
back, yeah, bringing that back to the table. Let your yeses be yes and your nos be no, and be behind it. Stand firm in that. you
Right.
know, because then you're not betraying yourself, right? Because
It's
a
the
lot of
most
times we
important thing.
give in to other people, we're betraying ourselves. You know, Mike Tyson said, if you're a friend to everyone, you're an enemy to yourself.
This is true.
And I was like, wow, first of all, can I say I love Mike Tyson?
He act a type.
He is he is one of the most, I love me some Mike Tyson. I could listen to him all day and just watch the pure joy that comes out of him because he is so comfortable in his own skin. He has made peace and he knows and understands who he is and is creating a life from the inside out. It doesn't matter who people think he is and who people take him as and who he was and what he did and didn't do. He has laid that down. He has shaken that out. And we're going to talk about that later. But come on, I hear somebody else in the back. Who's next?
Lena. Good morning, all. This is Lena. How's everybody doing this morning?
Good
Good
morning, Miss Lena.
morning.
Yeah, good. Well, I love this statement, decide what kind of life you really want and then say no to everything that isn't that. I think I'm living my best life at this phase of my life. Sometimes you say, oh, I'm gonna travel when and I'm gonna do this, at that particular time. Excuse me, something
Mhm.
came up. Let me turn this just popped up. Okay, I'm going to travel and I'm going to do this, but I'm just so grateful that I'm doing exactly what I want to do at this time. My sister and I are taking care of my mom, as you guys know, but when we
Mhm.
need a break, my brother steps in and we go travel and basically just do what we want to do. And then thanks to Adashina, I'm learning to speak my truth. I had a situation with the church where my cousin had open heart surgery
Mhm.
and no, excuse me, she had a heart transplant.
Okay.
And she's not a member of our church, but she comes and she supports anytime we invite her. It is a family church, and our family originated from that church, so she comes often. But I wanted the church to bless her with a love offering, so I went and I asked, "Who do I ask for this?" And everybody was kind of go to this person. Well, it ended up that they wanted the missionary department to do that, but the two main missionaries are out sick and I didn't want to bother them. So then I went to the pastor. Then he sent me back to the missionary department. So then I called him back and said, well, they're out sick. Who do I go to? So he gave me the next person, which I'd already gone to her. But long
Mhm.
story short, finally they cut the check. So the person I went to 2 or 3 times did the check. Well, I wanted to take the check to my cousin. She gave the check to somebody else that had nothing to do with my request. So when I called her, I saw her that Sunday at church. I said, "Did you do the check?" She said, "No, I haven't put in for the prerequisite." So then the next Sunday, I had this sinus headache I was telling you guys about. So I didn't have a
Mhm.
chance to ask them. So she gave the check to someone who had, so it really kind of upset me. So
Mhm.
instead of me just letting it slide, I confronted her. I said, I texted her. I said, "Do you have the check?" She says, "Oh, I gave it to blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Why did you do that? What did she have to do with this?" I initiated the project. She
Mhm.
said, "Well, they hang out together." I said, "She had nothing to do with this." I said, "When someone initiates a project," I said, "proper procedure is to let them complete the project." But I'm just bringing this up because I was able to say that to her. Because someone said, "Oh, just
Mhm.
let it go, let it go, let it go." I said it nicely to her. When someone initiates a project, it seems as though the procedure would be, or you should let them complete the project. "Oh, I'll get the check and I'll give it to you. I'll get it back from her." And she did that, and everything was okay. But I just felt like she should have ask me, who do you want me
Mhm.
to give the check to? Do you want the check? But to make a long story short, I was just able to say, and it's not a yes or no thing, but to go to her, speak my truth, say,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. And I did that. And I was just so
Mhm.
grateful for that. And it ended up well. I go to Memphis every day, which is 30 minutes away. And she lived in Memphis. But it seems that she had gone back into the hospital because she was moving around to soon after the surgery. So some of the stitches had come out. So they had to, she said they didn't do it properly or appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to
Mm-hmm.
restitch her. So I went by the hospital after I left my yoga class, gave her the check, gave her my little love offering, blessings.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just happy to be able to do that for her because I've been pushing. It was a whole month. I've been pushing for her to get this money. And I thought it was just kind of underhanded that she would get the check, not mention it to me, and just give it to someone else to give to her. But I was able to speak my truth to her in love and
Mm-hmm.
continue. But I'm able to do that now, not to just let things, just go over you. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
when you let things build up, that's when people explode, when you let things build up. You
Come
hash
on.
things out, do it in love, and keep it moving. And I'm grateful for that. And like I said, Adashina said to me one time, speak your truth. Speak your truth. You're able to speak your truth in love. You don't have to explode, but you can say it in love, and that's a blessing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's received and you follow through. I'm so proud of you, Miss Lena. So proud of you. Thank you, sister. Thank you for sharing that story with us. Because sometimes we
Thank
do
you.
so much to say and we say it inside our head. It never gets out of our head. And boy, I be holding some great conversations in my head. They never quite make it to the table. Um, but just to that fact, I woke up a couple of mornings ago and I woke up and I was speaking out. Because you know how when you lay in the bed, you're thinking, you're really thinking of this conversation. And sometimes I come up with some really great ideas and I think it through my head. I see myself there. I see myself doing it, but I never speak it, right? And so laying in the bed, I said, I'm going to begin to wake up and say out loud these things that are going through my head. So when I'm spitting this truth that makes sense to me, I'm going to speak it out loud. And so I just begin to talk, talk, talk. When I'm in my car, I'm talking to myself. I'm seeing myself in front of people. I'm seeing myself on certain calls. I can feel what it feels like to do it. And I'm speaking it out of my mouth. And I feel so empowered with it just moving from that thought to an actual word. And that is helping me to create because this first thing to have the thought, the second thing is to speak it out. But the kicker or the support of it is to feel it in my heart, to feel that emotion that goes along with that thought or that intention. That is what, as I'm going to use the frame that a gentleman said in a video. That's what collapses the time and brings that and manifests what it is that you're creating and brings it into this reality quickly. It's not just the thinking it; it's accompanied by the speaking it, but it's the believing it in your heart. It's that electromagnitude or magnetism. Our thoughts are electric. Our heart is magnetic. And so that electromagnetic field that we create when we think it and then we feel it, we create that emotion, we create that energy of that emotion. And it is going back in the biblical sense. What does it says? So a man thinketh and believeth in his heart, whatever it is. That's the
So,
rest.
so is he.
So,
Mhm.
So
So
is
is he.
all right. So we have been practicing pieces. We have been creating and building on and adding on to this place of self-discovery, this place of demystifying how to move divinely within this realm. And we've just been learning so much, and it's just been um, adding up. Right? We started out monitoring our thoughts and speaking on how important it is to transmute that negative voice, those negative um, triggers, and the way we speak to ourselves negatively internally, and transmute it with positive energy and love. And counterbalancing that to how our words are reflected, and even sometimes using less words, right? Being really mindful and being impeccable with our words, speaking exactly to that. I know Debonique has a real way of using her words, and I love it because she uses her full vocabulary. And sometimes, I get stuck, but I love to hear you articulate your thoughts and use your words carefully and precisely. And then, like I said, this last piece that we're learning this morning, we're talking about is activating the emotion of it, the heart of it, really bringing that into um, a tangible space by adding the emotion of feeling it, smelling it, tasting it. When you say you are going to manifest something, you must, it manifests after you feel it, right? After you have that full buy-in, you believe it. And when does that happen? When you feel it. Ashe, does everyone get that?
Yes.
Ashe, yes.
Yes.
Ashe, yes.
Yes. Come on in, Lenore.
Ashe, I was in the elevator, but Ashe, I heard that.
Ashe.
Um,
I think Lenore,
oh, I'm sorry.
no, that's okay, Angel. I think Lenore had her hand raised.
I did.
Oh, it's a raise a hand. I wasn't looking. Okay.
Hi. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Um, Actually, one of the things that immediately occurred to me when I was reading this quotation this morning, I really love and appreciate it. I want to thank you for sharing it with us, because I was the word clarity.
Mhm.
I think the first part of this sentence, where it says decide what kind of life you really want, requires us to actually choose and to make choices, and to have a sense of clarity about what it is that you want for yourself. And I'm speaking for myself and about myself, but too often, without I feel like the first part of my life, like particularly like my late 20s, I guess, early to late 20s, I didn't make a decision about what I wanted, and so I accepted whatever was in front of me.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
because I minimized the power of my choice.
Come on.
And it wasn't until I got to be older that I even realized that I could make choices. And then, and just understand, and I think, even if I even like walk myself through that timeline to today, it
Mhm.
was in recognizing that I could make decisions that made me, that empowered me to be able to create a life that I want. And but then realizing I was overwhelmed with choice. I
Mhm.
remember feeling like, oh my God, there's so many choices, I don't even know what I want. And even this morning, before we got on the call, I was thinking about how life offers us an infinite amount of choices, but we only have a finite amount of time.
Mhm.
And so we have to make choices about the life that we want to live,
Yes.
um, the relationships that we want to have, prioritizing experiences and certain values over the other. Doesn't make any of those choices right or wrong. It's just a choice that you're making.
Mhm.
And I think that too often we abdicate those things, that that clarity. We don't sit down and take the time to decide what kind of life that we want for ourselves, what kind of relationships we want for ourselves.
Come on.
We make it up on the fly sometimes. Or
Yeah.
again, I'm speaking about myself. And
Yes.
so spending time to get clarity
about what you want and about who you are going to be, how you're going to show up,
Mm-hmm.
is so important because you can't say no if you don't know what you want.
Come on. And so you just get everything. That's what I said. And that just
Yeah.
confirms exactly what I said. You just start hoarding everything. You take everything. You take spoiled shit. You take beautiful shit. You take broken shit, irregular shit. You just you just take all the shit. And then you be like, well, I got a whole bunch. And now that I have it over here, then I'll sort through it. But
Sort
you've
through.
wasted so much energy because you really didn't have clarity on what it was you wanted. And you was hoping, well, if I get it all together, I'll figure it out when I get it. And you are right. Most of us go into major portions of our life with that mentality, a scarcity mentality. Let me just take whatever's being given to me and I'll make do with it some kind of way.
Yes. Yeah.
Ashe, thank you for that. Wow. Yes, yes, yes. Is there anyone else that wants to?
Yes, because at least directly to my point.
Is that you?
Thank you for
Come on
sharing
in,
to me.
Mika.
So, to my point, I think it, for me, what, again, like Lenore said, I can't speak for anyone else, but for myself, it definitely is super important for me to know what to say no to as well, and not to other people, but to myself. Madam, you can't say you want to be 152 pounds and then eat a smorgasbord. You have to say no. You can't say that you want a stable relationship, but you entertain crackheads. You got to say no. And I'm saying it facetiously, but I'm also saying it seriously because, again,
Yes.
that scarcity mentality will have you like, why did you could you? Could you really?
Yeah.
Or do you want to say no so that you can set yourself up for the person who you do want to spend the rest of your life with, probably sitting across from the person has no teeth in their mouth and is looking right at you. It's right there, baby. It's
Right.
right there. Just have discernment. Look around, look over, under, and through. Make sure you're saying yes and no to yourself. Most importantly, because if your relationship with yourself is rocky, then everybody else, we kind of just have to get in where we fit in because you're having a rocky relationship with yourself and everybody's just trying to, help you out, hold you up, but you're not saying no to you. So if I say yes to you, but you need to say no to you about that thing that you're wanting to say the opposite to, I'm not wrong. You
Yeah.
should have said no to you first. You should have
Yes.
told me that was your boundary first. You should have told me that, but if you don't know that, then you can't articulate that. So ultimately, again, just ensuring that your yes to yourself and your no's to yourself are appropriate for what you can see in your head and how you can imagine yourself living so that you can get there.
Ashe. Very beautifully stated. So true. Got to say no and yes to ourselves too. And I like to say that if your relationship with yourself is rocky and you can't use your no and your no's are not no's and your yeses are not yeses with yourself, then you can't even begin to set boundaries with other people because you don't even know where your boundaries are. So that word comes up again. Decide what kind of life. Decide, make a decision, be clear. I like that. Um, have clarity. And that's why we're so grateful when we say, thank you for the clear vision. Thank you for the eyes to see the third eye, not just your physical eyes, but thank you for the eyes to see the vision, to see what's laid out in front of us, right? And how we want to customize it for ourselves and really learning to not spend so much time on the fluff and the bullshit and really, peel away all those layers. Good morning, Oshun. Good morning. Peel away all those layers and deal with the heart of the matter, the creating the foundation of the matter, what it is that I really want, and I'm not making any exceptions. I'm not wasting any more words. I'm not wasting any more time. I'm not begging for, I'm done with that because you know what? I know as soon as I get clear and I begin to create this atmosphere of knowing that I can have exactly what I want without having to what is it? Substitute with lesser things, that's when the manifestation comes. And that's when I go from wanting to being and moving in it and being it. And it's a part of me and I have it. Ashe?
Ashe.
Okay.
You know, I was as I was listening, I was thinking it's crazy because sometimes I believe God takes us to the opposite side of the spectrum in order for us to understand. Well, I should say us. I'm saying us, but I mean me. Okay. Let me be clear. Sometimes he takes me to the other side of the spectrum in order to produce clarity. Sometimes, you know, we feel like, oh, we just are wandering in the wilderness for years because we didn't make a decision. But sometimes it takes that road in order for us to be firm and know what's necessary. And so I think it's so important for us to be guided from the inside. And once we have our mind made up, that's when it becomes easy. But at the beginning, when we are learning what is compatible, sometimes you get halfway through and you'd be like, oh, wait a minute, this is in opposition of the direction that I'm going, but I didn't see it at first, or I didn't understand that that's what it was. But as you grow, you realize, and that's why it's important to always have your pruning scissors out, because it may be necessary in this season in order to get what you need. But as you move into the next season, you have to move in grace and understanding, saying that it's not that I don't love you and I don't love what you bring to the table. It's just that where I'm going, this is not, it can't be. These two can't stand. And so in order to keep moving, because we all know when we carrying too many bags on the path, when it gets super heavy, you got to sit down and do some sorting. You know, you may have to put yourself on a little time out and say, okay, what is stopping me from, you know, moving in the way that I need to move? And that's when you have to readjust. So I think with this saying no to the things that don't coincide with what's important, we have to be gentle with ourselves and remember that there's always an opportunity to prune. It may have worked on Sunday night, but Monday morning when you wake up, you know that ain't gonna go. That's got to stay. They got to stay in the room. You know, I got to go outside, but that's got to stay here. And so being flexible with your I'm at a loss for words, but basically what I'm saying, got to keep your scissors in the harness. So when it's time to cut, you can do it not with anxiety in your heart, but in grace of saying, it's, you know, I love you. And, you know, but this is where we end here. You know, this is where I change. And that time in the cocoon, so many things are given to you in the moment where you realize that it's a no, and you gotta sit still and wait for what's next, or whatever the case is. Like, it's important that you recognize that it's sometimes, I know me, I got to spend time there. You know, I got to come in and go out, and then I can walk it. And as you do that, you strengthen your no and your pruning abilities. And so being able to go the wrong way and then make a U-turn with grace and have full understanding, there's value in that. Like, nah, I know why it doesn't work. Here's A, B, C, and D, and let's just go the other way. No hard feelings. You know, I did my best yesterday, but today I know better, and so I'll do better.
That's great. And that takes us back to Tamika's point, because everything you said is true when you're talking about interacting with other people in interpersonal relationships, but it's also true when you're interacting with yourself, when you are moving with yourself. Like Tamika said, you know, let your no be, you know, the life that you're creating for yourself, that in yourself, how you want to see yourself. You know, when you see behaviors in yourself that's not supporting that, then you have to let it go. And yes, we'd have to do it in a loving way, because we don't have to, always bring down the hammer on ourselves, but there's a way to do it. But while the whole time you were talking, I was thinking, making these decisions and saying no, it takes courage. That one word. And that's what we've been building in this space. With every conversation, we have been building our courage. We have been building that muscle in us that says we have the power. We have been empowering ourselves and building in our courage. And that's just what it is. If you listen to yourself, even just analyze your thoughts when this came up, this was something that was like, yeah, it pushed you a little bit more. It opened you up a little bit more. It showed you a little bit more of what you were made of. And all of us that came on and said something said it was such an empowered stance, you know, dealing with ourselves, dealing with others, having clarity, you know, um, making that adjustment and analyzing how we're showing up to the space. That's Angel with her no, making sure that her no isn't so abrupt, being mindful of how she's showing up, right? Lena, making sure that lets her voice be heard, you know. This is what is required to deal with me in this space. Beautiful, beautiful, you know. Drea, learning to let her yeses be yes and her nos be no. And she doesn't have to be the yes man all the time. That no is a sentence within itself. I mean, everyone has stated so clearly from their own mouths that has given us a full view of how they're moving in courage and how they're empowered. So I just want to give all of us on this call a high five. Hey, girl, hey, we're doing it. We're moving. There's progress. Sometimes, like you say, sometimes it looks like it's just tiny bits and looks like we're not even moving at all. But every day we show up, there's progress being made. And so I give thanks for that. Ashe,
Okay.
Shay.
we're using
Ashe.
we're using our tools.
Ashe.
We're using our tools. We're using everything that the Creator has given us to create the life that we desire, and we deserve it, y'all. We are worthy of everything that we want, everything that we can think of. And so I've been, I don't know if you've been following my page, but I've been posting a lot of videos on manifestation and the steps of manifesting and the emotional connection that supports the conceived idea, and how we create this electromagnetic pull that that allows us to vibrate on the same frequency with those things that are already in our vortex, but we must match our frequency to those things in order to bring them into a tangible reality. And I just really been inundated with those videos as I move in, building my practice, um, even more so than building my practice, building myself to have the courage to make moves that may be painful, but I must make them to have the life that I desire, to have, to not be in that place of wanting and pining and chasing, right? Um, thank you again, Tamika, for saying that. Using that no with ourselves. No to everything. No. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your words. Stop wasting your energy, hitting your head up against a wall. You say you want this, then stop doing that. You have decided, so move in that. And so I'm just, this is just what is coming all around me. So this was really, I give thanks for spirit when this popped up to use this. And I give all the glory and all the honor to the creator and to that life force that's in all of us that keeps us relevant in what our heart needs. So saying that, if there's anything else that anyone else wants to bring into this space, let's bring it now as we go into prayer. I think today is go ahead.
Yes, excuse me. I wanted to share this um, scripture and tell you why I'm sharing it. It says,
Mhm.
all praise to God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. God is our merciful God and the source of all comfort. He comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort others. When they are troubled, we will be able to give them the same comfort God has given us. The last couple of weeks here in Olive Branch, this is a small town, so everybody knows everybody, and you're related to half of the people in the town, and if you're not by blood, you're by marriage. So the last couple of weeks in the Byhalia and Olive Branch community, it's been a lot of death. My cousin lost his wife. She's in her 50s. Two girlfriends lost their sister. One is my best girlfriend. They buried her last Saturday. So I was able, my sister and I, to comfort them and to be by their side. But the scripture just was so apropos because again, it was just so many deaths, more than that, but just so many. And again, everybody knows everybody. So, you know, in the city, I don't know if when I was born in, I don't know if I attended a funeral, it may have been two or three, whereas here every month it's like four or five. And like I said, most of the time it's somebody related to you or very close to you. So I just wanted to bring that scripture out for us to keep people in your prayers because people are losing their children, their siblings. It's not just the old, it's the young, it's the middle age. So let's just keep people in our prayers who are bereaved, who are suffering loss, of a spouse or a child or a parent or whomever. So I just wanted to bring that to the forefront. Let's just keep people in our prayers. Thank you for letting me share that.
Ashe, give thanks. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to the fire. Anyone else, please come in.
This me. I don't want to change the direction, but I think when I was in the elevator, I heard someone, it might have been you, Adashina, speak about how to speak things out loud. And was that you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I immediately got a thought of remembrance in my head because it's a biblical principle when you like connected with a thought, connected with a faith in something, but it's a thought first.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And then you give life to it when you speak it. And then once you begin to speak it, it manifests itself.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I didn't get a chance to say something about that, but I just wanted to say huge with creators, that to know where how that creation starts. It starts from a thought, and then you speak it, and then it began manifesting itself. Not to change the direction, but that is huge. And I remember studying in church about different things and manifesting things, and your faith connected to this, and and it's that thought, where that thought come from, that thought, and then you speak it. And we all know in Genesis how powerful speaking things are, and putting positive words to deliberate plans to create things. So I just wanted to say ashe to that statement,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is perfect for our invitation topic, because we're creating, and we are saying no, and we are saying yes, but we have thoughts that's trying to manifest to help in creating this life that we want for ourselves. So I just thought that was so awesome. And then in the beginning of the sister circle, I think Anna Sheena, because I've been in church, been in leadership, know the Bible, but I just knew, and I know I needed something more, like how she brought in our ancestors, and things that the ancestors build a platform for us to be building on, and we got all this knowledge from all these different places. And I don't think it's by accident that we're in the circle, because we're learning to create something um in this space with each other
Mm-hmm.
that's just it's life changing for me. I love it. I
Ashe.
Hey,
Say, thank you for that.
Y'all can hear me laughing. I'm just
Yeah.
tickled. I'm tickled. I
Yes.
love y'all, sister.
Ashe,
Yes.
Ashe.
Yeah. The learning. And I love the bridging of everyone. When we come into this space, we all connect to spirit in our own authentic way. Um, we do it um, through the way we um, translate through our faith, um, the way we connect to nature, the way we recognize creation within ourselves. It's a beautiful way. It's a beautiful experience for me to be able to sit with others that don't necessarily connect the same way that I do, but find value in sitting with them and learning from each other. And I'm just going to use the term cross crossing over into each one um, experience in their faith and in their relationship to the divine, whether it be Jesus or Buddha or um, Krishna or consciousness, or however you want to relate to it. It's that energy, it's that um, cosmic, creative, all um, ever present energy. And it goes by so many names, and it has so many flavors. And it's represented here in this call. And I'm grateful to be a part of that. So a place where we can all come together as human beings, having this, spirit having this human experience and sitting together is beautiful. So, having said that, let's just take a deep breath in through our nose and release it through our mouths. Another one in through the nose and out through our mouth. giving thanks to the knowledge and the information that was shared this morning. Thank you for being present in this space. All of us, our energy was tingling and right in the space today, and just so grateful for each and every household represented. We give thanks for the opportunity to send our love to those who are in the throes of struggle and pain and grief and loss, despair. We're so grateful that these are not permanent states of being, and that all things do change, and life can be sweet again after the duration of time. We just give thanks that we can hold space and continue to surround them with love and support and speak love and light into their lives and hold them in sacred silence and just vibrate our most highest, best, loving intentions around them, holding them in time as they toil and shed and adjust and do what's necessary to free themselves of the pain and the trauma and not allow it to build up inside of their bodies, to feel it and then release it. We support them in that part of their journey. And yes, there's so many that are transitioning and so many that are being touched by this uncomfortable state of being, this painful, sometimes overwhelming state of being. And we just, from this circle, we combine our energy and we vibrate a love so loud and so huge that we send it to them wherever they are, and just cocoon them in that. And it's true. Those of us who know the comfort of the Creator, of God, or whatever name we use, are able to extend that comfort to those around us in a real way, in real time. And I just give thanks for that. Give thanks for our minds, the expansions of our hearts, the vision that is clear, our faith and our abilities to decide, to make good, sound decisions, however long they last, whether that decision was good for the moment, good for the day, good for the hour, good for the year, and then having the strength and the courage to prune ourselves and say, that's enough on that. I'm going to turn another way. This is the end of this. Just having that self-discipline to work with ourselves in a way that's loving and kind, but truthful, honest, and to the point, right? And I'm just grateful. Gratitude, man, that's the attitude of this morning. Just coming together, all these beautiful women representing their families, their legacy, healing, doing the work on the inside, incorporating their shadows and using their shadows to support who they are, moving in a way that is uplifting and again supportive for their journey in creating the life that they desire and they deserve. I give thanks for each and every one as it is support for me, and I'm grateful to be a support to each and every one of you as we just continue to grow and to be curious and to be joyful and not take ourselves too seriously, right? And live in the light. I just want to encourage each and every one of us to go out today and put our feet in some grass or some dirt to ground ourselves. Take your shoes off, put your feet on the earth to ground yourself and get that extra boost from the earth today, and just continue in this vein of growing, expanding, encouragement, empowerment, decisions, clarity. But let's go out today, sometime today, and hug a tree, put our feet in the grass, in some dirt, maybe go put our feet in some water, do whatever we have to do to connect to the elements and just give thanks. Ashe. Ashe. If there's anyone that,
Okay.
Ashe.
yeah, let's just get out into the sunlight. Man, there's so much to be grateful and thankful for. There's so much that, I don't know, I'm just feeling led to go out and sit in the sun, let the sun just bathe me and caress me and put my feet in some dirt. And then let's just continue to journal our journey. Each one of us have come such a long way. Some of us had to go into a time of just cocooning ourselves, right? So that when we come out, we're better. And that's okay. Let's journal all that. Let's journal all that. Is there anything that anyone else would like to add before we close the space? No? All right, let's print this one out and put it on our refrigerator.
Ashe.
So that we can remember it, we can see it every day as we are pruning and perfecting ourselves, living this life, having grace, being tender, finding soft spaces. Come on, Lenore, you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to say thank you. That's really it. I just thank you to you and to everyone who shared today.
Mhm.
And I wanted to express my gratitude for all of you.
Shay. Shay.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Ashe.
Shay. And remember,
Ashe.
let's find those soft spaces, y'all. It's okay as Black women to want to land in soft spaces and places where we feel entreated and we feel kindness and we feel love and we feel adored and adorned. We feel valued, and it's okay. That's where I'm going. That's where my life is looking. I want soft things. I want security. I want safety, and nothing else will do. Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay. And you know,
Okay.
as we close, let's write it down. What is it that we want, and what are those things that just are not making the cut? Let's, if we can, at some point this week, let's write a list of some of those things that just are not making the cut. Write it down. This is not it. This is what I'm doing, but this is not it. And let's speak it out. So we begin to make that severing, that cut, that pruning, as Debonique calls it. Y'all have a great day, a great rest of your week. And I'll see you back here next Wednesday. Boy, these Wednesdays come quick. But we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Have a good
Ashe.
day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank
Love
you.
y'all.